Going, folks, recording a little late night Best Ball Mania 4 draft. Haven't recorded in a while, had a wedding and lots of traveling going on. A lot better travel experience than what I had last summer, that's for sure. I would highly recommend, if you get the choice of flying through Washington, D.C. or through New York City, pick Washington, D.C. This is the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone. We have our friend to our direct right, Super Shorty. She's one of the Spike Week members. She also does some videos and whatnot. And I chat with her a bit offline as well. So I got pick number 8. Very, very not exciting pick. My least favorite pick block is 7, 8, 9 by a pretty big margin. Don't like those picks at all. So we'll probably be looking at Eckler, Diggs, or AJ Brown. I have like 0 Josh Allen. Not actual 0, but I think I have 3%. Whereas I have like 12% Hurts and 6% Mahomes. So I might consider going with like a Diggs, Josh Allen. I've kind of been getting a ton of AJ Brown, especially because I've taken AJ Brown pretty early a couple times. Like I took him at pick 3 and got the AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Hurts start. So I wanted to try to get at least one of those. Oh, sick. Diggs goes 5th. Love it. I'm just going to take whoever falls to me here out of the people above AJ Brown. So I prefer Eckler to AJ Brown. I prefer taking a wide receiver to a running back, but I have not been taking much Eckler lately, so I'm just going to do that. I'm sure Stephanie will be very excited to take AJ Brown there. She was probably pretty happy that we took Eckler. Most of the Spike Week players tend to be more wide receiver focused. So we'll almost for sure be taking a wide receiver the next round, unless like Bijan Robinson makes it to us. Aside from that happening, I'll probably take a wide receiver. I'd probably just take, although I guess maybe they wipe out like everybody down to Olave. But then we would probably take Bijan or Chubb, whichever one was left between those two. I'd rather not take Devonta Smith because I'm like at risk of ruin level of ownership on him. I have 16% Devonta Smith, mostly because I moved Devonta Smith above Chris Olave. They're actually really close for me. The reason why I moved Devonta Smith ahead of Olave was because so often the third round Hurts was falling to me. And when I had Olave, it felt so terrible. Definitely going to take a wide receiver with our pick now that we know we'll at least get Olave. So like it just felt so bad when Hurts would fall back to me and I had Olave and didn't have Devonta Smith. So that's kind of why I had made that change for a bit. Assume we just get Olave here. I assume she'll take Devonta. That's pretty cool. There's a couple players I have my eye on in drafts right now. Actually, both running backs. I really like Breece. If you can get him in round 3, I'm trying to take him as much as possible now. I have like a lot on DraftKings, but not that much on Underdog. Not really sure why. I think just because of the influencers and whatnot that kind of push the Underdog draft rankings. A lot of them really like Breece. So I think that's why he's been like harder to get on Underdog. Ooh, interesting thought. So I've been trying to find a Best Ball Mania to get Sean Tucker in. This might possibly be the one because starting with Eckler, there's a good chance that we have a strong running back group. And also having Chris Olave, we have someone that actually correlates in week 17 with Sean Tucker. So maybe this will finally be the draft we take Sean Tucker. Probably not, but maybe. So for our next two picks, we'll probably be looking at players like Judy and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, getting one of those players to set up a game stack and or double stack with Herbert. I'd probably lean away from Judy in the specific situation. I'm not sure. We'll have to see who's available. But we can start up a few people that we will have our eye on. Though we might take somebody that's not of this group. Derrick Henry's outlook is probably better now with Hopkins going to the Titans. I think Tannehill and Derrick Henry both benefit like a lot. I think it's a slight hit to Burks, but not nearly as big a hit as the market seems to be reacting with. And yeah, Chig is just not very interesting to me now. Like, I just don't think there's going to be enough volume there. Like, Chig to me is like fine, but he's like the guys that you can get around 17 and 18 are as good as him. So, or at least like reasonably close. So I see just like no reason to pay so much for him. So we have a little bit of interest in Brees if he makes it to us. If not, we'll be picking somebody from off this list. Here. Gonna take Keenan Allen over Mark Andrews. I just have too much Mark Andrews at this point. So I'm gonna take Brees here. Like I said, this is a guy I'm trying to get more of. He's one of like the rare players where like you could see next year him being like, you know, a top 5 pick in next year's best ball. Even if he does start out the year slow, he still could end up being like a top 5 pick in next year's best ball. The reason being is like all he has to do is like end the year on absolute fire, which is well within the realm of possibilities for him, and he'll be moved way, way up next year. So hoping to get, I'd probably prioritize Keenan and then Mike Williams here. I'd like to get one of those two players. We can get a Denver bring back later, try to set up Herbert. Then we're going to have to pound wide receiver after that. The one player that could slip to me that could change things is Debo, but I don't think that he'll slip to us. So he's the one player that would make me consider going a different route entirely, because I think Debo is, to me, like Debo, DK Metcalf, and Calvin Ridley are a tier, but Calvin Ridley is like by far to me the most risky of those 3 players. But I think they all have like really massive ceilings. So the Keenan Allen person could take Mike Williams to try to set themselves up. They didn't. I was going to say they could take Mike Williams to try to set themselves up for Herbert. So this is going to get real interesting if Debo is on the board when we pick. I assume that Stephanie takes him, which is super shorty. So like Stephanie's going to take Debo, right? We'll just take Mike Williams. Stephanie, please take Debo. Thank you. Do not make me have to take Debo. So we'll have plenty of opportunities for bringbacks on the Denver side with Mike Williams. I guess next we're going to look to Herbert. The Keenan Allen owner is behind us on this board. So, like, they're this way, right? Yeah. So there's no way we're going to just pass Herbert and let this guy, grab him. Obviously, Herbert could go before us. Nothing we can do about that. It would be like unstacked, so whatever. That's fine. But like, if we were to pass Herbert here and lose him, it would be like, obviously, you're a dumbass for doing that. Because I don't really want to have taken Mike Williams here if I'm not getting Herbert. But like I said, I mean, if he goes in these picks, there's just nothing you can do about that. You did all the planning you could do. So this will definitely be a punt tight end build. If assuming that we do get Herbert, it will be for sure a punt tight end build. This could be a Carr team. I don't really take Carr hardly ever, but maybe we'll get Mike Evans in round 6 after Herbert. That would kind of be ideal. It's a game stack with Olave. Not a lot of great comeback pieces for Breece Hall. I mean, I like Elijah Moore, but he's like getting very expensive. We already missed Cooper and Njoku. I absolutely hate his price. He's another one, like, I think he's better than those guys that you can get in the last rounds at tight end, but like, how much better? Not that much better. He's like marginally better than those guys. Just trying to look and see if there's anything interesting on this board. The 3 spot got the Devonta Smith Hurts combo. That was nice for him. Well, I don't really agree with this pick. Like, what? I mean, the odds that this guy was going to take Joe Burrow were close to 0, right? But like, what are you gaining by pushing this one extra pick? Like, you gain TJ Hawkinson, who's like just probably a horrible pick anyway. We're going to take Herbert before Fields, which I'm sure will be music to Steph's ears. This draft has like ended up pretty well for her. I think she should probably just take Fields. Yeah, she does. Pretty good draft for her so far. Like, we decided to pass on AJ Brown for Eckler. That worked out for her. She definitely got like a tier above wide receiver than what we got. I like Breece quite a bit over Andrews, but I mean, Andrews is still like a pretty big advantage. Debo is massive, is a pretty big tier above Mike Williams. Justin Fields is probably better than Justin Herbert. So if you were just to look at her team and my team 1-to-1, she definitely has a big advantage over me. So it'll probably come down to like if we were to just look, that's Hope as well as in this one. She does a podcast too with David Peng. So let's look at her team. Nothing wrong with her team. It's got great value picks all around. I think Steph's team is looking pretty special in this one, though. I absolutely love getting Debo. Like, Debo, I'm pretty comfortable with her in here. I like Debo more than Cooper. Like I said, I basically have DK Metcalf, Ridley, and Debo in a tier. And like, I think Ridley is last of that tier for me. So, well, we're going to take a Tampa Bay wide receiver. I would obviously prefer Godwin, but I let out that off because I saw that it was Steph picking ahead of us, so I knew that we were not getting Godwin. So, get Evans, though. That's cool. I'm not upset by that pick, though I would have preferred Godwin. It's really tough when you get another spike week player right next to you. I guess we need to keep an eye out for Carr if that's something we actually want to do. He'll be like kind of expensive for a QB2 when you have Herbert. Would take Quentin Johnston if he makes it to us. I'm not too sure that he does. but he might. Also, like Burks is falling in these drafts quite a bit, and if like Burks makes it to me, I'm like pretty interested in Burks as well. We don't need to take another stack piece with Justin Herbert because we could always take Gerald Everett. We already have 2 stack pieces. So Quentin Johnson is like a luxury stack piece as opposed to like a core stack piece for us at this point. But I would have some interest in him. I would definitely take Johnson over Davis or Pickens. Dotson and Burks is a little bit more of a question. So I'm kind of hoping Dotson and Burks just go before me. What if no running? What if only wide receivers get picked before us? Then what do we do? I think we kind of cry. I do not want to take Brandon Cooks. I guess I could take Elijah Moore because, yeah, because at least he correlates with Brees. It'd be like reaching 7 picks, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Thank God DeAndre Swift goes. All right, we will not have to take Elijah Moore, so that's nice. Huh. Okay. I guess we'll take Quentin Johnson over Burks. If it was Dotson, I think I would have taken Dotson. Steph should take Burks. I don't think there's any reason for her to take a running back there. So we do kind of want to stay away from any more week 5 wide receivers. We already have 3 of them. We'll test that theory when this Elijah Moore pick comes up. I don't think Elijah Moore will make it back to us, so like it probably won't be an issue, but I have interest in getting some more of Alvin Kamara, but don't think that this would be a spot for it. Michael Thomas, it could be a spot for. I generally loathe Michael Thomas, but if you are going to stack up Carr, then I get the like trying to play the nut ceiling scenario for Carr, which is for sure if Michael Thomas is to actually stay healthy and be good. Like even if Mike Thomas comes back and is only 80% of Mike Thomas or 75% of Mike Thomas, then like at his price he's fine. But like the effect that would have on Derek Carr is actually like really big. Flowers, I have some interest in. You could take Cortland Sutton because he correlates with our bet on. Oh, it's our pick. So I am going to take Mike Thomas over Sutton here. I do not hardly ever take Mike Thomas, but when I'm setting up the big stack for Carr would be one of the times. So Denver. P. Ryan could be an option. Marvin Mims could be an option. Dulcich. So we still have some decent options there. Kamara goes. Would have been kind of nice if he super fell to us, which does happen every once in a while. There's like a semi-erroneous report about Pacheco out there that popped on Sleeper about him possibly starting the season on PUP. That was very much more speculatory than it was informative. Like, no one knows right now. He's not even really been back with the Chiefs at all yet. Definitely a chance he could start on the PUP, but like the report also said that he would miss 6 weeks if so, and that's just not true anymore. The PUP is 4 weeks now. So he wouldn't be guaranteed to miss more than 4 weeks if he started on the PUP. And I think that that's like very like unsure of at this moment. I think it's a lot less likely than how people are portraying it. So bringbacks for Brees, I mean, it's rough. We're not going to want to add Donovan Peoples-Jones, I don't think. Joku, Jerome Ford is interesting. That would kind of block us off of Jerome Ford would block us off from Sean Tucker. Because this is definitely going to be a 5 running back maximum build. I mean, we could take in Joku here. Like, I hate it, but I don't like anything that's really on the board right now. So I do like Penny and Damian Harris, but I could see if we can get lucky and get one of them on the way back. Oh, Steph finally took a running back. Didn't even notice who she took. Oh, James Cook. Yeah. First Steph pick I do not like of this draft. Definitely have my eye on Tyler Boyd here. I'm not gonna lie. God. Fine. Loathe David Njoku, but I almost never take him. Steph gets Dalvin Cook. That is a boom bust pick there for her. She has both Cooks. I'm now feeling a little bit less bad about how our team lines up with hers, but she still has a big advantage at tight end on us as well. Like, we could just mash her at running back to the point where the rest of it doesn't matter, but we'll see. Coming back, I would like to get Penny or Damian Harris, but I mean, it's a decent chance that both of them go before us. Might go to Charbonnet then. Well, they're not both going to go before us, so I guess we need to pick one. I guess I'll take Damian Harris this time. I've been taking Penny like quite a bit, so I actually have more Damian Harris than I do Penny, but just like I did 2 Best Ball Manias earlier today, and I took Penny in both of them, so because I think both were Hurts Devonta Smith teams. So we're definitely leaning into a 5 RB build, which may or may not include Sean Tucker. Pick 48. Derek Carr will be interesting. If we go for value on him, we're going to have to take him 4 picks past ADP. Or we're going to have to take him almost a full round ahead of ADP. So we're going to have to see how much there is another player that we actually like on the board. Because, like, I don't mind reaching that far if I don't like anything else on the board. But if there is another player that I really want, then I don't want to reach that much. I mean, in theory, no one besides us should want Derek Carr at all, right? But, yeah. I've said in theory a million times and gotten sniped a million times. I guess that would maybe have been an argument for taking I really don't want Kyler on this team. I was thinking that maybe it would have been better to take Penny than Damian Harris because you can set up a game stack with backdoor Kyler. But like having my QB have a bye week 5, I definitely don't want to pair Kyler with him. And I'm fine with Kyler and 2 quarterback builds, but I don't like it when my other quarterback has an early bye. Few running backs on the board that interest me. Basically, the top 4 that are on this board all interest me. Greg Dulcich as bring back for our Charger stuff sure interests me. I would probably not want to take Dulcich until my second of these picks, but we'll see. Don't think we're going to get Dulcich if we pass him. Do I think we could get Jamal Williams if we pass him? I don't think it's that disastrous if we... Oh, God, he goes before us. Yeah. Fine. Could stop at 2 tight ends with these particular 2 tight ends. Don't love it. Probably will add a tight end. There's a chance that Kendre Miller or Carr fall to our next pick. Those are kind of the 2 guys that I'm focusing in on here. Between the 2, I'd rather miss missing Kendre Miller. I think he's going to fall a lot with the news that he started on the IR list for training camp. I mean, if Elijah Mitchell's our only pick, that's who we're picking. It's not particularly close, but I assume Elijah Mitchell will be gone by then. Bigsby is somewhat interesting. Surprised that she didn't take Darnell Mooney to go with Fields. If she really wanted A-Chain the value. It's a little risky for me there with... I think if I was Steph, I would have taken Mooney. Because I don't like taking A-Chain when Dalvin Cook is on your team, just because, like, then if Dalvin Cook signs with Miami, it's just so disgusting for you. So I think it would have worked out better for her if she would have taken Mooney, and then she would have got Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, this is too many running backs now. I don't like how that worked out for her. I mean, I'm just going to take Carr. Like I said, I don't like taking Carr 11 picks ahead of ADP, but, like, there's nobody on the board that I want at all. Like, my next pick was Kendre Miller. I think between the 2 of them, I have a better chance of getting Kendre Miller the next round because of this IR news that just came out. And if I don't get Kendre Miller, it's like, whatever. I don't really care that much. Like, he's an extra piece in a game stack where I already have the key pieces. And probably one of the most key pieces for me was Derek Carr. So we did pick up some nice stack stuff there with Dulcich and Derek Carr. Would be interested in Miller the next round, but don't think it's super likely he makes it to us. Should be a bunch of other options at running back that are, like, fine. Jerome Ford we could still get later. We don't need the quarterback to even be lit up anymore. Definitely need to draft 3 more wide receivers at minimum. There are still, like, a lot of options that I like at wide receiver. I think late wide receiver is actually pretty nice. I know a lot of people hate it, but Mims is one I guess we're kind of a little bit more incentivized to get because of the Chargers stuff we have going on. So we could highlight him. Probably won't go with Rashid Shaheed in this team because oh wow, Marvin Mims goes way ahead of ADP. Well, I'm pretty glad we got Dulcich then. What's on the board? Who do I like? I like Alec Pierce quite a bit. I like MVS. I like Mingo. For running backs, I'm really just interested in Keandre or Jerome Ford. I would definitely push Jerome Ford. Take a wide receiver. Not interested in Thielen, but any of those other wide receivers interest me. All right, we did get Keandre to fall back. So that definitely worked out. Like, I mean, Carr probably would have fallen back to us also, but I just felt like, why? Why am I risking that? Like, what am I gaining from it? Could take Jerome Ford and finish off running back. How much do I like that? Not a whole lot, not going to lie. Tim Patrick is still available for a Denver piece. Don't love that. I might go for like an Isaiah Hodgins Tutu Atwell. Excuse me. Mini for week 17. I think Hodgins is quite undervalued on Underdog compared to DraftKings. I do think he'll be the X for the Giants. So that many interests me. Picking up Hodgins here. Be 14 picks ahead of ADP. Don't love that, but what are you going to do? What else are you going to do? There's Jerome Ford. So I guess I'd just be done at running back. And could go with the triple stack with Shaheed here. Really just want to take Hodgins. We will bite the bullet on that ADP value. I just think he's like way too undervalued on Underdog. Decent chance we could have got him the next round, but like there's just again there's just kind of nothing that I wanted on the board. Gonna leave the light on for a Sean Tucker share here. If it's not here, I don't know where it's going to be. This would leave us a chance to take like Tutu and Sean Tucker as our last two picks, which definitely interests me some. If Jawan Johnson falls to us at our next pick for our third tight end, I'll take him, but I'm not really like that worried about it. I'll just take some other tight end if not. I really like the combo late for a mini game stack of Downs and Michael Mayer. That one's like one you can almost always get. So maybe I'll set up like something like Mayer into Downs into Tutu as like our last three picks. Creating the Hodgins Tutu mini and the Mayer Downs mini. Still need to take another running back. I could just like push this draft so that I'm just taking like a lot of people that just like don't get drafted that much or get drafted really late. When it gets to these like super late rounds, if there's people you think are like values, we shouldn't be like too bashful about like getting too attached to ADP. I will take any of these people. Be happy. Taiji Spears is like another nice one. Like he has contingent value, he has standalone value. He stacks well with late players because you can always get like a Houston wide receiver to go with him. It's funny because we want all the players that are exactly at the top of the board, so that's usually a tough ask. How many more wide receivers are we taking? Two. So Downs and Tutu, huh? If we want to go that route. We don't need to do the Downs Mayer thing though either. Hunter Henry is a really good other option for our third tight end because we have Damian Harris here. So gonna take one of these three players. I'm gonna prioritize Jerome Ford, then Patrick. Yep. So alas, we will again not get our share of Sean Tucker because we're done at running back. Really good mix there. Like we have a lot of guys out week 5. So hopefully that's a good Saints week. Ooh, I will actually be at that game as well. I'm going to see the Saints at the Patriots, which is week 5. I'm a Saints fan. I've seen the Saints play at the Eagles, at the Giants, and at Buffalo. They got smoked by the Giants and the Eagles, and they absolutely destroyed Buffalo the one time I saw them. They scored infinity touchdowns. We could do a Gesicki share here instead of a Hunter Henry. I have like no Gesicki in this exact tournament. So I'm pretty sure I want to do 2-2 with my last pick. This pick, I'm leaning towards one of these guys, Tim Patrick or Gesicki. I think like the best thing to happen would be like if we can get Tim Patrick and then Hunter Henry, which I don't think we'll get, but you never know. All right, let's take Tim Patrick. So for wide receiver, we're going to take Tutu, and then for tight end, I would like to take Hunter Henry or Gesicki, but I don't think that I will get either of them. All in all, I'm not too displeased with this team. I mean, it's a Mike Thomas car stack, so like if you have that on your team, it's pretty much gonna probably sink or swim via that pairing, unfortunately. And I think that the pairing is going to fail, but I do want to mix the pairing in some in my drafts. Like, I especially think if you're taking Mike Thomas, that like you may as well take Carr on that team because if Mike Thomas actually smashes, which I think would be like something like returning to 90% of Mike Thomas, which I think is a pretty slim thing that you're hoping for. But if it were to happen, I think that I know we're probably going to get 2-2, so we'll just go over to check out the tight ends. I guess Cade Otton would be the next tight end maybe I would pick. Do I have anything else that correlates at all here? I don't think I do. I don't. So yeah, I think, when Mike Thomas is a good pick for you, then Derek Carr is going to be a good pick. So may as well take them together. So Stephanie ended up with James Cook, Dalvin Cook, Brian Robinson, Achane, and Mitchell. Definitely like this value she got on Mitchell. That was pretty sick. Overall, I don't like that running back group that much. I love Trey McBride. She got Purdy and Fields. I think that the one pick. Forgot Hunter Henry. The one pick of hers that I would change if I could change a pick was getting Mooney instead of Achane. So she had an actual stack piece for Fields. So I think every piece of this team is going to end up correlated in some way, shape, or form. So that's kind of interesting. That doesn't happen very often. Usually, you have a couple rogue pieces out there where you just got like really good value, or there's just a player you really liked and then nothing opened up and you got sniped on the pieces that you would like to have had as comebacks. Although if Tutu Atwell is selected, then that will change things because we will have to pick a non-Ram. I don't really like Puka too much. So Herbert and Carr, obviously great, especially Carr paired with Michael Thomas. So if Michael Thomas is actually good, Carr will be great. You're making a bet on that whole offense, so I like Keandre. I would like to get one of the other two running backs, but we got sniped on Jamal Williams, and Alvin Kamara just didn't make much sense. I don't like pairing Breece Hall with Alvin Kamara too much. Running back group is obviously fantastic. I love the top three players in this group. Keandre has a ton of upside, very risky. Jerome Ford we got great value on and was part of game stack with Breece Hall and Njoku. Wide receiver group is like, 2-2 goes. That's so brutal. Well, I'm not going to take Puka, so I suppose I'll just take Mecole Hardman. So he's also like a game stack piece with Breece Hall and these Browns guys. So that sucks. So Hodgins ended up being our piece that's not correlated to anything. So we were planning to take 2-2, but did not get 2-2. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. So overall, our wide receiver group, don't think it's that great. I would give it like a C. But it has some chances, right? Like, basically, like everybody from Mike Thomas down has like a chance to be kind of like a difference maker type player. But like, the odds that you're hitting on more, you're probably like praying to hit on two of these guys. And you also need Quentin Johnson to be like, okay. This wide receiver group is rough. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's got enough there that it can make it there, but it's asking a lot to actually get there. And our tight end group is like, whatever. It's a B. It's fine. It's much better than most of my three tight end groups because my three tight end groups tend to be all late tight ends. But it just made sense with correlation on who we selected and where. Like David Njoku have like something like 4% of, so it's not the worst to get an extra share of him. That was kind of brutal. Somebody took our 2-2. Steph didn't even take Chase Claypool with her last pick. Jesus. Steph, come on. I don't think getting Mac Hollins as the comeback to Fields is anywhere near as important as getting Chase Claypool to go with Justin Fields. So there were a few things about her draft I didn't like, but overall, her team was pretty badass. Love the Clyde pick. Yeah, so I would have definitely taken Mooney here. Ended up with Elijah Mitchell here. So then probably somewhere around here, instead of A-Chain, or instead of Tyquan Thornton, probably taking Jeff Wilson here. And then definitely would have taken Chase Claypool here. Like, I think this is actually a reasonably egregious mistake to take Matt Collins here instead of Chase Claypool when you have unstacked Fields. Not that you really need to stack Fields, but like obviously in his best outcomes, he's going to throw some touchdowns. So like in week 17, when you're trying to beat 400 teams, you may as well play to that out of actually getting a touchdown from your 18th round pick that correlates with your quarterback. Alrighty, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your drafts, folks.